Hi everyone, welcome back. It's Ann at Martin House Flowers. In today's video, we are at Hobby Lobby. We decided to come in here because we wanted to pick up a birthday gift for a teenager, but I decided to take advantage of being here and taking a look at all of the seasonal decor. Of course, Valentine's Day and St. Patrick's Day are coming up. But I was really wanting to get some spring inspiration. And of course, you can't help but think of spring with Easter and all of the decor. So much happening. And there were a few spring pots that I thought I would take a look at. I was really interested in this urn. They were pretty much of resin, but there was no hole in the middle, so I was a little bit worried about planting anything in there. And this was an interesting solar mushroom lamp. Something for the garden, I suppose. I thought of it that maybe it would even be in the greenhouse. And then they had these rock solar lamps that were quite interesting. Now, Easter decor was not on sale yet, but anything that was marked spring was 40% off. So there was a lot of really cool garden ideas, all of the chimes, and this was an interesting kind of, I wasn't sure what to make of this, but I guess it would just be a nice ornament for the lawn or the garden beds. Lots of solar items. I wasn't sure what color would work. I guess that chartreuse one behind this red one. I'm not really a red person, but that would look kind of interesting. And I love their little furnishings, their little vignettes, the front porch, pillows. I always find an easy way to decorate is to change up your pillows on your front porch. I often like to do that. I usually buy pillow covers, but last spring I did pick up a couple things in here, a couple pillows that I put in the greenhouse that were probably not a good idea because they did fade, but I was always wanting to take a look. I'm also looking for inspiration for our upcoming workshop where we're going to decorate an Easter door basket or Easter wreath. So there was some cute carrot and bunny ornaments I was taking a look at. There was some Easter garland. I've never really decorated my mantle for Easter, but these were super interesting. You know, those Pinero Bordello Portuguese dishes? I loved that. It wasn't on sale and there was only one bowl. But I was certainly thinking about that after I left. Look at these cute bunny topiaries. I could see Lynette at 1842 decorating her house with some of these things. I think this is kind of her style. What do you think, Lynette? I could see those bunnies on your front porch. I also came across these Easter wreaths and Easter baskets for the front door. It's always a good idea to take a look at what is available ready-made so that we come up with something that's obviously more unique, a little more generic spring, I think, but those were certainly cute. And then they had these, I don't know what you call those windmills and all of these colorful lawn ornaments. And these were all 40% off because they were marked spring. So anything with the spring label on it, I believe, was 40 off. And they usually had the signs. I could see those in country homes. And then I was coming back to these urns because, as you know, I have large urns. I didn't walk away with these, but I'm certainly interested in them. If I could find a shallow planter that had a drainage hole, I could set it in there. So something to think about. I love anything galvanized metal. I guess you call this kind of kitschy garden decor. I don't know. I just thought that was super cute. I don't know if it suits my house, but what do you guys think of that? Would that suit the front of my house with a planter on it? Oh, I thought it was adorable. So since it was part of the spring shop, it would be $50 less 40%, so that would have been $30. And then I moved on to some of this pretty spring framed art and more wreaths. Beautiful forsythia. I've always loved that. It makes me think about cutting some forsythia branches this spring and bringing them indoors. I love this piece of furniture. If I didn't already have enough furniture in my greenhouse, wouldn't that be great? Or in a room for seeds. I could see filling that cupboard up with seeds. That would be overkill. Or just garden supplies. We're back here at some of this spring decor. I was trying to think of what application I could use that cute bunny topiary. I suppose you could put it in a vase of tulips. It would be very adorable. I'm sorry about how many times I've said the word cute, but there were so many cute items here. But now we're finally at the outdoor containers. Those were interesting. Lots of plastic, but I love the rim pots. Lots of color. The footed pot. Some metal. Whatever your look is, I love this. Again, galvanized metal. Really great prices. Spring shop, so that would be 40 off. I could see putting a little plant in there, giving that for Mother's Day. Wouldn't that be nice? I like these. It's so hard to imagine, but look at that. I love this metal window box and the metal pails, little faucets, the antique faucets. So many great ideas. And now is the time to go in to your Hobby Lobby before it gets picked over. It was kind of confusing to me that Easter decor wasn't on sale, but Spring Shop was. And as you know, if you go into Hobby Lobby, they alternate their sales. So this Spring Shop has been on sale for 40 off for a while now. And I guess after Valentine's Day, they'll put Easter. So yeah, I was just looking for some inspiration. I didn't end up buying anything, but lots of great ideas. Look at these interesting doors. everything imaginable that you would want to decorate. I could see those in a potting shed. More wind chimes, or had I been down this aisle already? I was basically going back and forth in the aisles, also looking out for my stepdaughter. We had picked out a few things for her birthday party that she was going to, and I was just looping back and forth. This is kind of how I shop. I'm not real organized about my shopping. I kind of scan the whole store very quickly, and then once I've scanned the store and got my bearings as to where things are, I make my way back and do a second look at certain things. Do you guys shop that way, or are you organized? I was just sort of making my way around. Look at these interesting initial metal plaques. Would you put that in the garden? I've seen people order these personalized plaques from Etsy. Welcome to my hive. Little bird baths and hooks, every kind of hook. All of these spring shop items, again, were 40 off. But how many things do you need? I like those herb signs. I used to have those on little wooden sticks, but they always deteriorate. So the metal is kind of interesting. But of course, I've got my own tags that I put names on. Again, these galvanized buckets that you can hang in your workshop, your potting shed, your greenhouse to hold gloves, tools. They're a cool concept. I think I've got some iron hooks, white iron Victorian hooks for my greenhouse that I'm still waiting for Greg to put up. So there, the $6.99 item would be $4.19 for that little hanging bucket. Lots of interesting little pots. Great gift ideas for Easter and Mother's Day for sure. Well, soon it will be patio picnic time. We'll be getting out all of our summer dishes. Isn't that exciting? Spring is around the corner. Even if we can't see it amidst all of this snow and frost, it is around the corner. And we're back at the pillow section. This is where I picked up a couple of pillows last spring. I have a daffodil pillow similar to that little tulip one, and it faded in the greenhouse, but I still love it. I've decided not to put colorful pillows in the greenhouse. And I have that mat. Where is that mat? Probably somewhere in the basement. And they have some nice embroidered. I really like these embroidered pillows. But I think I'm just going to stick with pillow shams or pillow covers to change things up. I have that pillow, my happy place. So that's the original green it was at. Mine has faded to a pale green, but it's still cute. It's sitting in my cubby in the mudroom right now. That's a sweet pillow. Aw, that's a nice one too. I try not to have anything too feminine, but I like this floral welcome mat. So we left Hobby Lobby with the gifts, and we're now at Home Goods. And their main wall when you walk in is full of all their spring wreaths, and Easter is out. There's another one of those baskets. Seems to be more common this year, but I think this one is a bunny basket with tulips. And again, I was looking for inspiration and some florals for the Easter basket, Easter wreath workshop that I will be leading at friend Barb's plant and nursery shop. Probably after Valentine's Day, we'll run another workshop together. And if you've seen my prior videos, I think it's like a willow type basket I got at Hobby Lobby. I forgot to show it to you, but I've decorated my door basket for Easter, for fall. So we're gonna do one, and I'm here looking for some florals. I didn't show the florals at Hobby Lobby. I wasn't that impressed with everything there, but I did see some nice florals that you'll see coming up here at Home Goods. My stepdaughter and I were just looking at all these Easter decor. This one was funny. It was an Easter gnome. I have some neighbors that would definitely get into that. So now we're getting serious. We're looking at some nice florals. And I think I want to do some greens and purples and periwinkles and yellow. I know one of my subscribers that was at the workshop, she mentioned she wanted a little bit of pinks and purples, but I really love this hydrangea and that one too. So I was kind of deciding on this grouping here and what to do. And what I usually do is I settle on what I want to do, and then we have to price it all out so that to make it within the budget to to work with at the workshop at Barb's Garden Market in Sycamore. So again, I'm seeing this theme with all the topiaries, and I was also looking for some pots, and I didn't see a lot, so they haven't got their big shipment in yet for spring and summer. They just had some of these indoor, I would call these indoor decorative planter pots. And the nice thing is they had drainage holes. And of course I love the blue and white. I was loving this glazed terracotta one. Just so much cuteness overload here with this Easter decor. I did like that wreath with all the moss. I love that idea. Not sure I want to do eggs because it's too specific to Easter. But again, I'm just trying to gain some inspiration. So one of the last things I found was this really sweet basket with all this greenery and tiny little periwinkle purple and blue flowers. I really like this. I would hang that on my door, but of course for the workshop I think we have to add a little bit more focal flowers, but I would certainly love that. Those are my colors.